Obligatory disclaimer up front. TikTok has been muting or taking down some of our videos within minutes of them being posted. So if you're watching this video on TikTok, I want to point out that this video is available on our YouTube channel as well. I'm also adding captions for the disclaimer in case it does get muted. Now that we got that out of the way, this is the compromise that I had to make in order to get Mikey into my video because he's not cooperating today. What's up, Family Liberty, and everybody else watching this video who isn't following our channel for some inexplicable reason. I'm AdminTim, founder of the Sons of Liberty. Joining me in this video will be Admin V. This is the first time another admin has appeared in a rant video, so we encourage you to watch this whole ass video all the way through. If you're not new to this channel, then you know I'm a veteran of the United States Army, having served for 10 years with combat tours to Iraq and Afghanistan, and as well as other than war deployments to places like Kosovo, Bosnia, and other places that I'm not allowed to talk about. If you are new to this channel, then fuck Donald Trump and fuck MAGA traitors. This ain't no safe space for bootlicking simps for the bargain basement Timu wannabe fascist oligarchs. Now that you know where I stand on things, if you're not a thoroughly triggered conservative snowflake who regularly gets cucked by Russians and will therefore go screeching into my comment section, then you'll probably want to stick around. Maybe consider following the channel after you watch the video. Tonight, Admin Matt and I will be talking with two U.S. military veterans from an organization called Tip of the Spear. They do mine removal work in Ukraine. This is especially well-timed because news just broke over the past few days that North Korea, traditionally our communist enemy but seemingly beloved by Trump and his MAGA fascist bootlickers, has sent combat troops into Russia, also traditionally our communist enemy but seemingly beloved by Donald Trump and his MAGA fascist bootlickers. North Korean troops will be joining the offensive in Ukraine because Russia sucks so badly that Ukraine has kicked the shit out of them and Russia has depleted its body of fighting-aged men, and that's including after having cleared out some of their prisons as well. Speaking of prison and also Donald Trump, let me get straight to the heart of today's rant. I know a lot of you were leaving comments on our Facebook, Shit Talk, and YouTube about some comments that Trump made a few years ago that have just come to light. Not sure why these comments are that old and they're just now coming to light. It seems like everybody who was associated with Trump or interviewed him or hung around him waited until he was out of office to decide to write tell-all books that proclaim their patriotism and, oh, I gotta set the record straight. Why didn't you set the record straight the first fucking time when he was still in office and this shit could have been challenged? Not that his fucking supporters in Congress would have allowed him to get impeached and prosecuted for it. And now we've got the goddamn Supreme Court that's basically like, yeah, he can do no wrong, basically making him a king. So all these dudes are now writing tell-all books now that he's suddenly in the running as a serious contender for election. It's like, where was your sense of patriotism and loyalty and maybe your fucking desire to help out the rest of the American populace by not letting this guy get into office? I know where it is. It's in your fucking pocketbook with that advanced check that you're going to get for writing that tell-all book. So this week, The Atlantic published an article about how Donald Trump wants generals like Hitler had, and gave us several more reasons that Americans at large, and especially veterans, should be fighting like hell to keep them out of the White House. But some of y'all veterans out there are hardcore MAGA cultists, and you don't give a fuck. You just want to own the libs, and by putting a fascist dictator in power, or maybe you even believe that he's not really that bad of a person. That's because you probably had shitty leaders and shitty parents who didn't teach you fucking morals like everybody else had. Like, I served my country, and I started out as a conservative, but holy shit, the things that they're fucking saying and doing now, that's inconsistent with my core values. And if you don't share those core values, I question your fucking humanity and your patriotism and your loyalty and just your goddamn common sense of decency, because there is no fucking way that you should be supporting this guy unless you're a bigot or a fucking racist or just a terrible human being. Now, we've extensively covered Trump's absolute disrespect of our veterans, our fallen warriors, POWs, Gold Star families, etc. before. There are tons of videos on this channel that you can go dig through instead of leaving comments like, oh, you guys should cover, don't forget about his disrespect of John McCain. Yeah, I got it in like fucking 30 other videos. Go look. Anyway, what's the latest fresh outrage? And what other sad sack, pathetic, penis envy, dipshit, dumb shit did the fucking Wish.com wanker perpetrate? Let's back up a few years to the widely reported disappearance and subsequent discovery of the body of Vanessa Guillen, a 20-year-old Army private who was stationed at Fort Hood, which has since been renamed to Fort Cavazos because fuck Confederate traitors. PFC Guillen was bludgeoned to death by a fellow soldier. Trump used her death as a photo op with her immigrant parents and offered to pay for her funeral. And then he reneged, and he allegedly yelled at people who were in his office, "It doesn't cost $60,000 to bury a fucking Mexican." And then he turned to his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and gave him an order, "Don't pay it." And later that day, when he was still agitated, he said, "Can you believe it? Fucking people trying to rip me off. Oh, poor baby. You fucking volunteered to pay for somebody's funeral, and since you're a selfish prick who doesn't fucking do anything except bury your dead ex-wife on a golf course, so you don't have to pay any fucking money," which is super weird, and you probably got your fucking top secret documents in there. You don't understand how much it costs to actually bury somebody, because you're a low-life scumbag piece of shit. Anyway, you gave your fucking word, and now you're concerned that it costs that much to bury a quote-unquote fucking Mexican? How much does it cost to bury a fucking Mexican anyway? I'd like to know. I'll pause for y'all to take all of that in about Vanessa Guillen for a minute. Vanessa Guillen was an American citizen. She was serving our country. She was murdered by another soldier who she'd reported twice for sexually harassing her. The investigation showed leadership failures, aka covering up sexual harassment, allowing her to be portrayed as abandoning her unit and other negligence. Her funeral expenses ended up being covered by donations and by the U.S. Army after the commander-in-chief told the country that he was handling it, which he wasn't. Fuck that. Fuck that in the face with a shit-covered dick from the entire admin team. Cultists won't believe it, so nobody else is surprised that Trump doesn't give a shit about the American soldier, sailor, marine, airman, etc. We've covered that and the rest of the Republican Party's not giving a shit in several videos on our channel. We also aren't surprised that he's stingy with money, racist, and angry when asked to do things that inconvenience him. See also everything he's done ever. So we're surprised when he said, "I need the kind of generals that Hitler had," which was a private conversation that he had in the White House, according to two people who heard him say this. People who were totally loyal to him, that follow orders. Yeah, Admin V, Admin Matt, and Admin Elo raged in the group chat, blew up my notifications. Admin V was so mad that she recorded a little video all on her own. Bless her World War II obsessed little heart.
Hi y'all, I'm Admin V. I'm obviously not AdminTim, and I am obsessed with World War II. It's my special interest, as they say. And so I'm a little enraged that Trump says that he wants generals like Hitler, because as a World War II obsessed human being, I have read everything I can get my hands on. I've watched tons of documentaries. I am old man obsessed with trains, obsessed with World War II. So y'all should know that in advance. So I've got a couple of reasons here, and I'm not like AdminTim, so I'm going to refer to my notes. So hopefully y'all won't be too mad at me for doing that. So when shit like this comes out of your mouth, I can tell you are as dumb as fuck. Hitler's generals were sycophants trying to kill him, and or incompetent. Some of those things cross over. It's a Venn diagram, not three separate circles. Hitler thought that he knew more about the military than his generals, even though he was just a corporal in the World War I, and that's as far as he ever got in the military. He did not. So if you were good at your job, you got fired for disagreeing with him, and that is not somebody that you want in your service. Let's see. In all aspects of German society, you needed to be a member of the fascist party to advance. Now, do we want somebody who is fascist in government? Absolutely not. But if you were not a member of the party, you were pushed out. Let's just be the way it rolled. Hitler lost World War II. I think that should be noted. Do we really want generals who could lose a war? Because that's what happened. And lastly, why are you comparing yourself to Hitler, dumbass? Like, there's Godwin's law for a reason. Nobody actually wants to be compared to Hitler. For heaven's sakes.
So I'm going to add a little bit to what she said. Donald Trump's a fucking asshole. He wants to be a strongman dictator, but he's too dumb to be a good one. He's not even a good businessman, and he was absolute shit as a president. What kind of loser can't even lead his own fucking insurrection? What kind of dumb fuck gets impeached twice in his first and only term? What kind of fucking loser incumbent loses re-election to another old white guy? The guy's just plain stupid and ignorant. Does he not fucking remember what happened to Hitler, or did he just conveniently forget that lesson as much as he forgot his 9th grade civics lessons? That did not end well for Hitler. Even with his loyal cadre of bootlicking goose-steppers, he still had a number of competent generals trying to kill him, because Hitler was fucking terrible at literally almost everything except riling up the populace and murdering Jews. And that wasn't even his plan. Somebody else came up with that plan for him. It just gets attributed to Hitler and that was the guy who architected the whole thing in his stupid book, Mein Kampf. Anyway, doesn't this orange simp for Vladimir Putin and all things Russian understand that Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia were mortal enemies? According to the Atlantic article, he's interested in total control over the military and prizes total loyalty from his generals who follow orders. He's expressed surprise that American military personnel swear an oath to the Constitution and not to the president. He calls disabled veterans, our fallen warriors, prisoners of war, and defense officials and generals who disagree with him suckers and losers and idiots. I could go on all day listing the instances of disrespect as laid out in the Atlantic article and countless other reports. No veteran or active duty military should support this draft-dodging bastard. In closing, consider that his aim is to surround himself with loyalists. Then what would stop him from setting the military and the Department of Justice on his enemies? The enemy within, as he keeps saying. Motherfucker, I am the enemy within. You made me your fucking enemy when you turned into a giant piece of shit that hates this country and wants to destroy it. And every other fucking veteran who ever swore an oath to defend this country and its people and defend the Constitution are also your enemy. And if you're one of those veterans and you're not a fucking enemy of Donald Trump, then we're going to go back to G.W. Bush and the fucking early 2000s. You're either with us or against us, motherfucker, and there's more of us than there are of you. Look, the warning signs have been clear for years. Donald Trump hates America, and for some reason he hates the military and its veterans. If you wave the flag and you claim to support your troops and your veterans, don't fucking vote for Trump. If you do vote for Trump, don't you ever fucking thank another veteran for their service, because if you say that shit to Big Sarge, I'm going to tell you to get fucked, traitor. Speaking of people who are not voting for Trump, you know who else isn't voting for Trump? The goddamn insane clown posse and their army of juggalos. I don't know why the FBI ever treated juggalos like shit, but I, for one, welcome our clown-painted friends. Obligatory disclaimers. If you like the shirts and the hoodies that I wear during my videos, some of them, but not all of them, are available in the Sons of Liberty merch store, which is linked in the channel description. It's also in the YouTube video description, and it's in the throat punch at the end of our video. You can hang out with the Sons of Liberty admin team on our official Discord, and as per my last, that is also linked in all those places that I just mentioned. It doesn't matter if you're a gamer or not, Discord has a lot of other different functions, and also they can't kick us off of it. If you like our content, we'd appreciate it if you follow us on all the socials, whichever ones that you've got. We would also appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and get notifications on our channel. A little bit of a different process if you're on TikTok, but if you're on TikTok, then you knew that already. You can help us extend our reach by sharing our video content, and you can help us beat the algorithm by leaving us at least 7 words in the comments. Why 7 words? Because apparently someone went and determined that 7 words is the magic number for meaningful engagement per the algorithm, and when you take the time to post at least that much, then the algorithm starts suggesting our video to people who watch other videos that you like. If anything that I said in my video upset you or otherwise offended you, well, I don't care. I'm going to do my thing. You can do yours by laying your prayers and complaints at the altar of St. Fuapap, from whose holy book we learned the lesson of AdminTim 3:16, which is, get fucked and die mad about it. Hashtag not sorry, not sorry. 2 claps and a Rick. Don't forget to watch our fucking live stream on YouTube tonight. Woo! And now it's time for the throw punch!